So this is day one, and today I wanted to talk about how English and your past story with English doesn't define you. Hello guys, welcome to a new challenge, Inglés más allá de las palabras. Mi nombre es Lucía, seguro ya me conoces, y si no, welcome to the channel. El objetivo de este challenge, que va a durar una semana, es que logres desbloquear ese inglés que tenés, que logres mejorarlo y que te expreses con más naturalidad, espontaneidad, sin tanta vuelta y de la forma o casi como lo harías en español. So this is for Spanish speakers. La idea es que tu lengua madre, el español, sea la variedad que sea, no te limite a hablar inglés con esa confianza que tanto deseas. Y que dejes de perderte oportunidades, charlas, de conocer personas. So try to absorb as much as you can from these conversations. Feel like you're having a conversation with me, and let's jump right in. So this is day one, and today I wanted to talk about how English and your past story with English doesn't define you. So this week I want you to give yourself permission to start over, to start again with compassion, okay? You need to love yourself so much so that you don't care about whether you're making mistakes or not, okay? Intention and curiosity. Curious minds are everything. And for this, I wanted to start with a personal experience, with my personal story with English, but I'm going to make it short, so don't worry. Of course, I'm not a native speaker of English. I'm from Argentina, and at the moment, I'm living in Spain. This is just to give you context and just to gossip, I don't know. And by the way, it's really hot. It's boiling here in Spain, in Madrid in particular. So English has always been my passion since I was a little kid. I remember listening to Britney Spears in the 90s or the Backstreet Boys, and I was like, oh my god, I love this. I didn't know what it was about because I was little, so I didn't have that awareness to try to make a difference or distinguish between one language and the other. I just knew that the sound of it was fascinating for me, so I tried to imitate it sometimes with songs. And my parents and my big sister and my big brothers would record me just trying to sing in English, whatever that was, because it was not English. But that's how you start learning. You immerse yourself naturally, and through repetition, you start acquiring the language. As when we are little kids, I always say this for my students to really understand it, to grasp it. Okay, but I didn't start learning English formally until I was 8 or 9 years old. So no, I didn't start when I was really young, let's say, when I was a little kid. I started at 8 or 9, and from that moment onwards, I became obsessed with English, and I didn't stop until then. But, and this is the tea, when I started university, I failed my very first exam. Yep, after 10 years studying English. And by the way, I hate this word, study English or study a language, because you don't study a language. That implies that you are actually writing lists of vocabulary, grammar, and not learning them in context. So we actually acquire languages. But well, anyway, going back to this situation at university, I felt like a complete failure. In fact, I said this to myself. I cried a lot, I got frustrated. So even after studying a lot for 10 years and preparing for that exam, I was not able to pass it. But you know what? I kept going. And of course, you know that, because otherwise I wouldn't be here speaking to you. And I wouldn't be creating content for you to be more passionate about English. Of course, maybe you're not going to be as passionate as I am. I get it. And that experience taught me something really valuable, really powerful and interesting. And it's that a language, just like English, is not just a language. It's not a subject like at school or in academies, unfortunately. It's an experience. And you have to live it. You don't have to study, you have to acquire it, just like you did with Spanish. So here's your first golden rule of the week. And yes, I love this concept of the golden rules. I have 8 And of course, I got inspired by Stephen Krashen and some other linguists and polyglots. And as soon as my students get into my program, I tell them about these golden rules, because you wouldn't be able to learn a language, to acquire it, to enjoy it, if you didn't take into account these 8 golden rules that I'm about to share. In fact, I'm going to share one for today because they are 8, and I don't want to make this too long. And as basic and silly it may seem, some people keep forgetting it, and it's learn English in context. So you need to hear it, feel it, see it, use it. No more audios in which you can listen to 2 speakers, maybe 3, and they are saying, "Hi, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. What about you? I'm fine. Goodbye." We don't want that. Okay, so this was your first insight of this incredible challenge, Inglés más allá de las palabras, and I prepared a short activity for you to reflect upon your story with English and how you're feeling nowadays. Don't worry, it's short, so do it. It's just reflecting upon it. If you don't want to write down your answers, your thoughts, don't do it, though I highly recommend it. And it's called Authentic English Self-Audit, like una auditoría. You're going to find literally 3 questions, okay? So once again, I highly recommend you writing down your answers so that you can reflect in depth about your story and how you feel now. And I can help you with that if you need some help or some guidance. So this week is not about being perfect, it's about being yourself. And I know that this phrase may be a little bit cliche, but some cliche phrases actually work if you start applying them consciously. So I really want you to take this to a deeper level and just start enjoying English. Tomorrow, I'll be sending you another activity in which I would like you to do something else, to go a little bit further, one step forward. Okay, so I'm anticipating this just for you to take the bull by the horns and start with your English journey. Or rather, restart. So are you in? And one last question. What is that one thing that you would love to do, you've always wanted to do, if you felt more confident in English? I'm reading you.